Hey everyone, it's me, the best hat in the game, coming at you with another Debate 'em All. This is our Thursday series where I go to Twitter/YouTube and I take some of your hot takes on things. And because Sword and Shield information has dropped, I figured let's do a Sword and Shield themed episode. Gotta get that money, my guys. Drop a like on the series if you're enjoying, of course. And let's just get started. Got one from John Stone. Having random and visible overworld encounters is way better than only having one or the other. On the flip side, I think because of that, this game appears to be very open world. The frame rate for handheld Pokemon is going to be pretty bad in locations like Wild Area. I'm expecting the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee Viridian Forest FPS. So, for those that don't know what he's referring to, in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I think it's very situational, but it is still an issue. When you're in Viridian Forest, in handheld mode, and you've got like a bunch of Pokemon on the screen, the game gets quite framey, maybe like 15 to 20 frames per second, which is low. So, yeah, issue, and that is worrying because it's like, is the game only going to be strong enough in I guess TV mode? You know, not like a lot of people. The reason why they like, I guess, the Switch is the fact that you can have it in handheld or TV mode. And most people like playing Pokemon handheld because that's what we've done all this time. You know, a lot of people I know played Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee handheld. So I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to game development and stuff, but I'm hoping that they are able to fine-tune the game so there's not too much framing issues, because one of the big excitements of the game going to a bigger console, a more powerful console. One of the exciting things about Pokemon going to a stronger console is that we won't have to deal with the FPS of Moltres coming into battle in Pokemon Sun and Moon and having it just go down to like 20 FPS. That's a... I think I agree with you though on the first part. Having random and visible overworld encounters is way better, but that is a pretty... that's an issue. Also, I just realized I should probably talk more about the first point, because I didn't debate anything. Having random and visible overworld encounters is way better than having one or the other. Yeah, I agree with that, and I also want to add, what are shiny Pokemon going to be like? Because we saw in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, the shiny Pokemon would just pop up in the overworld, but is it going to work the same? Is it going to work the same here? How is it? Do you just run into the Pokemon and then they battle you like a turn-based battle system, or is that going to be the Let's Go Catch style? Like what's... We don't really know. I don't think they will do the Let's Go Catch style, so don't stress. Don't worry about that. Don't get all angry. But I'm just curious. Will shiny Pokemon show up in the overworld, or do you have to physically run into the Pokemon to see if it's shiny? Or maybe the overworld Pokemon can't be shiny. I don't see why they would do that though. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think having both instead of one or the other is the best case, is the best of both worlds, I guess. You know, I think it's genius actually, like how they handled the overworld. They basically, from what I can understand, they're replacing routes with wild areas. Like it's genius. I would be happy if Dynamaxing was an in-game mechanic only. Visually it's cool, but if it's anything more than a 1.5 times boost, then it's effectively a 3-turn Z move, and we all remember how they were received. I mean, I don't know. I really didn't like Z moves when it came to battles, because like for a turn-based game like Pokemon, just being able to pop off a move that can guarantee get a kill, it's just, I don't know. I don't mind the Z moves, like the Z setup moves, like Z Rain Dance that gives you a +1 in speed while also setting up the rain. Those are cute. Those are cool. Z Belly Drum, it heals you after using Belly Drum. That's cute. That's cool. Or no, it heals you and then uses Belly Drum. So if you're like red health, you can get healed, then Belly Drum. Like that's cute, that's cool. But like, I think Z moves are just a bit too OP. And my hope for Dynamaxing is, we don't exactly know how, or I'm pretty sure we don't know how the distributions are going to be yet. I think they are confirmed to be used in competitive battle, I think. We don't know, obviously the VGC rules might just say no Dynamaxing, no Z moves, no this and no that. You know, they did that with the VGC this year. They made it so like it was split into like 4 seasons or whatever, and it's like this season you can't use Z moves or megas, this season you can, this season you can use legendaries, and then, you know, they split it up like that. So I'm curious if they're gonna do something with like maybe make it so only Dynamaxing can be used one season, then maybe only megas the next, Z moves the next. You know, have like players adapt to the different styles that they've had over the years. I don't think they're going to allow a season where Dynamaxing Z moves and Megas and Primals are all in one like that. That would be mental. Anyways, yes, visually it is cool. As for the boosts, I'm trying to think. Pokemon Go raid bosses, the way they handle the stat distributions from, I think they just multiply it, and then also just give the Pokemon a fuck ton of HP. So if anything, Dynamaxing might just give the Pokemon a lot of HP and like you said, maybe a 1.5 times stat boost on everything. I don't know. You can't just change the base stats of the Pokemon. And what they could do is they could make it so the Pokemon is +1 in every stat, gains extra HP, and makes it slower. So, you know, it's a giant Pokemon, it moves slower. So that makes it, you know, in VGC would maybe make it a bigger target. I don't know, just spitballing here. But I am interested to see how it is. I can understand, like, there's a lot of competitive players worried about it because we're like, oh my god, this is just going to be Z moves and Mega Evolutions combined. It's insane. It's gonna make battling really annoying. But we don't know much about it yet, so I guess we can only really theorize. And I'm hopeful. I think it's going to be great. Zacian and Zamazenta look a bit too much alike. This is exactly what I was thinking. I mentioned that in my video I made the other day, and I mainly just wanted to throw this out there that I agree with you, and I hope that their shiny forms redeem them. I wanted to add something in post really quick. Something I heard of a lot of people comparing Zacian and Zamazenta to were Latios and Latias, and they were like, oh, but these guys look similar. But the difference between Latios and Latias and Zacian and Zamazenta are Zacian and Zamazenta, or Zacian, I don't know, whatever. Zacian and Zamazenta are box legendaries. Latios and Latias are not. So they're not really on the same tier. When it comes to previous box legendaries, they've never looked as identical as these guys before. I think the closest comparison would be Reshiram and Zekrom. Those guys looked pretty similar-ish. Not really though, like they were both just dragons. I think Pokemon easily could have pulled off 2 wolves the way they have, without making them look very similar. I think it's the color scheme mainly. I think the color scheme needs to be a little bit more different, but who knows? Maybe they look similar for a reason. Maybe later on down the line it'll be revealed they have a different form that makes them look way more different. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I've got a comment here from Trainer Red Dom. The champion shouldn't have been shown. Now, I just flat out disagree because I think they've got a good reason to show us the champion. The champion's probably a big part of the story. Like, it's probably one of those situations where it's like they literally can't not show it. Because I imagine, like, you know, I guess he's probably gonna be a big part of the story. Maybe he's the bad guy. Like, there will be a reason for showing him. It's not really something that they can hide. And you know what? Usually they don't show you the champions. I think the only champion they did show you was Alder. But did we know he was the champion or not? Because Cynthia was also, I don't know if she was shown, but she was also like quite early on in the game. But we never actually knew she was the champion. I think same goes for Steven. I don't know. I think they've got good reason for showing the champion, and people are also talking about how maybe his Charizard isn't actually his, you know, maybe that's not his actual Pokemon, you know, because that would suck, you know. But I mean, I think it is Charizard. It just has to be like some form of Charizard, like something different. It could easily just be oh yeah, there was that this is spoiler territory. There was a leak that said there's the what is it called, Dynamaxing, and then there's also Giant Maxing or Gigantamaxing, and Gigantamaxing is big Pokemon but also with a form change. So, you know, Meowth has a form change, I think, apparently, yeah, so that's interesting. And maybe they've done that with Charizard. You know, Charizard's a fan favorite. Maybe they've given Charizard a giant form change. Apparently there's gonna be Fat Pikachu as well. Take that with a grain of salt. But that's just my idea. I kind of just got off topic. I do disagree though. I think the champion being shown is actually perfectly fine, because it's not really something they typically do, so it is different. And I don't know. It's not really a complaint of, oh my god, they're showing too much information. I think they've probably got their reasons. And actually, just on that note, your rival is the little brother of the champion. Like, that's a pretty big deal. My brother is undefeated. Why would they not? That's something you're gonna find out pretty early on in the game anyway. It's not like he's gonna hide the fact that his brother is undefeated. I don't know. I think the champion being shown is fine. The box art looks a bit shit. So from this point, actually, I agree, definitely. And here's the thing: has Pokemon box art ever been good? I saw my friend Andy tweet that the other day, and I was like, you know what? Actually, has it ever been good? I'm looking at his image right now, and honestly, I think the best Pokemon box art is Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Gold and Silver. Like, I think that's probably the best box art we've ever gotten. Ruby Sapphire is pretty terrible. Heart Gold Soul Silver is pretty good as well. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, not really the biggest fan of those ones. So yeah, I'm not sure if Pokemon box art has ever really been that good. I think one of the reasons why it's a bit lackluster on the Switch titles though is, I guess, just because the way Pokemon box art has been before is that it's on a little square. Now it's on like this long rectangle. You know, it's the Switch case, and you know, I guess they're trying to keep their traditional simple style of Pokemon logo plus legendary plus background color that matches. The background is a bit lackluster, to be honest. I think they could have definitely done something else, and you know what, who knows, they might have like a better box art for us on the reverse side. Companies love doing that. They love giving you like a different box art to use so you can like swap it and flip it out inside out. They might do that, which I'd be pretty happy with. Yeah, the box art does look a bit bad, but has Pokemon box art ever been good? The best part of the new game is the camera control. Yeah, I think I remember talking to my mate Rory about this. I wouldn't say it's the best part of the new game, but it is it's a pretty big deal. My friend Rory was like, one of the things I want the most is to be able to control the camera, and I actually showed him a part in the first ever Sword and Shield trailer. I guess when the character's like, you know, you see the character in the middle, then the camera's spinning around him. I'm like, maybe that's a hint towards the camera movement. I don't know if that's exactly, if it exactly was a hint. And I'm pretty sure the camera movement is only in the wild areas. But yeah, the camera control is actually a really, really neat feature. I would really like it if it was there for the whole game, I guess. The rival looks bad. Nah, that's almost universal opinion. I wanted someone who I could actually call a rival, not How 2.0. Kids. Just because a rival doesn't spit in your face and punch you and doesn't mean it's a bad rival. I think Hop is actually one of the best rivals we've had in a while. I mean, I think probably since Gladion, so it's not really been that long. Was Gladion a rival? I guess technically you could consider him in that sort of area. You know, you battle him a few times throughout the storyline, and he improves. Gladion's a good rival. That's the thing. People are like, oh my god, the rivals haven't been the same since like Gen 2, but we had Barry, we had Gladion. Hugh wasn't too bad. You know, we've had some, like, rivals don't have to be nasty. And you know what, that, I'm pretty sure it was hinted at that we're gonna have more than one rival. We're not just gonna have the typical, I think it was hinted at that we're not just gonna have the one rival. We're gonna be getting a few. So maybe one of the rivals is nasty. You know, it's gonna be like Lily Gladion dynamic again. I don't know. I also want to add, I think having a rival that is the little brother of the champion that is unbeatable, that is sick. That, like, he's got so much motivation to want to kick your ass, and if you just keep putting him down, you know, I think that's gonna make for a pretty cool, you know, it's gonna make for a pretty cool rival. I don't know what happens if he turns out really, he starts really nice, and then he develops to become an asshole because you keep beating him, and you know, his brother's a champion, so he's like, what the fuck, why am I losing? I'm meant to be as good as my brother. You know, what happens if he turns into an asshole? I don't think the rival looks bad at all. Visually he looks good, and we don't really know much about him yet, I guess, so only so much you can say, but I think he's going to be a dope rival. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of Debate 'Em All. Let's go ahead and get another Sword and Shield theme on going. There's still a lot of hot takes on the Twitter, but I'm going to take some Sword and Shield hot takes from the comments below if you guys want to go ahead and leave them down there. Just any opinion you have on Sword and Shield with what we've seen thus far. Let's talk. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Check out the other Debate 'Em All series stuff if you've missed it. Links to the playlist is in the description. And I'll see you guys next Thursday.